visions have been an important, maybe even a critical, crucial aspect of faithfulness, of faithfulness forever. Woven into the stories of the scriptures are visions given to prophets and leaders and priests and people. Visions that call folks back, that serve as mid-course corrections, that launch us in new directions. I want to share a vision that came to me a few years back. It doesn't have to be yours. And maybe it will not mean nearly as much to you as it has to me, but it goes like this. I was at a difficult point in my life and my ministry. I don't remember the specifics, but I was struggling on many fronts as I went to one of what had become a tradition for some years, the retreats that pastors in our little section of the conference committed ourselves to a couple of times a year. This one happened to be at a facility I'd never been before, which was a little bit unsettling and unnerving. Not one of our camps at all, but a place up out of Leavenworth that someone had discovered and wanted to share with us. The person who was leading us led us into some exercises, some kind of touchy-feely stuff that always just kind of set my spirit on edge. It was a difficult time, a difficult week end, and as I was rolling and wrestling in the midst of one night, I had the dream that somehow the ground upon which I stood had been jerked right out from under me, and bam, down I went. And there I was in the bottom of a well. And it was deep and dark and dank, and the walls were slimy, and crawling out seemed all but impossible. And I remember a feeling of panic and dread and fear that finally the world was closing in on me. There was no way out. I could see the sky, but getting there, up the slippery, slimy rocks, it just didn't seem possible. And then it happened. The well began to fill, and my feet were wet. But soon it was up to my ankles. And my anxiety just exploded. There was no rope. There was no way. Was I to drown in this moment of despair and desperation? And then it came. A little glimmer. A whisper. Maybe like what Ezekiel heard there at the edge of the mountaintop cave where he was hiding from his own fears. Wait a minute. Maybe this which has only intensified my fear is actually God's rescue. I know what to do with this. Let the water rise. I can swim. I've taught swimming. I've done drown proofing, learning to just relax in the water in ways that allow you to stay buoyant and for hours and hours. this which initially brought fear and despair is actually God lifting me from the depths. This is God's way back to the world I can only see in part, to the wonder of a future that God has for me. A new year is opening. Does it feel like the bottom of a well and the muck and the slime? Is the water starting to trickle in and you think, I can't survive? Maybe that which you most fear is God's way of floating you back to a world and a future and a hope that God has waiting for you. This is Ben Moore from West Highlands United Methodist Church with a thought for your day. Just another way of reaching out. Thank you.